Welcome to episode 63 of Paris Playbook. Today I'm joined by Tyler Eberhart of the Valparaiso football team offensive lineman. Tyler, how's it going?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. 2 more days of work and a nice little bit of break for Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. These 2 days are going to be tough because I know I'm almost to that break, but it's also
Right.
happy it's only two.
I hear you. I hear you.
You got to be on break for classes right now.
Yeah, we got out last Thursday was our last day of finals, so came back home, just hanging out with the fam and everything like that. So
Yeah, nice to
good
have
time.
a break from the school and the stress and all the
100%. 100%.
yeah, you need that time to recharge and get ready to get back at it next semester.
Oh yeah, right back into it. Right back into it. We get back into winter conditioning as soon as we get back and everything
Oh
like
yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
good
Yeah, you
times.
don't get a long break, but you got to take what you can get, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's talk about your recruiting experience a little bit. I mean, when did schools first start contacting you when you were in high school? How old were you?
Yeah, I'd say it was probably about my sophomore year. Really started ramping up my junior year was when I started going on visits. My very first visit was actually Youngstown State, which is kind of crazy considering, I got injured against them this year. But
Yeah.
I got started getting interest from Youngstown State, some other MAC schools, like Akron, Ball State, Western Michigan. Went on to visits to all those schools. And then really towards my senior year, started to narrow it down. Got some D2 offers. And then Valpo came in, and it was like the perfect place for me. Mechanical engineering mixed with football at the D1 level was like a no-brainer for me. So
Did you do the fancy like photo shoots at all your recruiting spots that guys do?
yeah, it was cool. It was cool. At OU was pretty cool. They had in their indoor facility. They gave us all the black jerseys that they have, and let us wear those and stuff. It was pretty cool. So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good time.
Makes you feel kind of sweet when you post those on Instagram. You got the little hashtag not committed, but you still like I look pretty sweet in this uniform, don't I?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool times. It was cool times for sure.
So when did you said Valpo entered a little bit later in like your recruiting process?
Yeah, I would say the very first time that I started talking about Poe was they came into my high school towards the end of my junior year, right before my senior year. Went on a visit there, went on a camp out there, really liked it, and then went on my official visit there December of my senior year, and then committed on January 2nd, my senior year. That was COVID, like right before COVID started. So yeah, it was cool. I really liked it there. Coach Fox was awesome, great guy, and then it just felt like home. It's like that's the biggest thing is I talk to guys who I have buddies who play at Grand Valley State, OU, Miami, and they say the biggest thing is just find somewhere where it's home. And Valpo felt like home for me, so it felt like a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want to be at a place that you enjoy being at, people you're around, the culture, the coaches, all that. I mean, what's the point if you hate it, right?
100%, yeah. Especially when you're doing something where you're waking up at 6 a.m. When it's like 5 degrees outside during winter condition, you got to be around guys you like. So,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're in miserable conditions, at least the guys around you can help make it like somewhat bearable.
Right, right.
So, talk about your first college game experience, like that week leading up to the game you first played in. Did you know you were going to get to play, or was it kind of like in the game, the coach was like, "Hey, Tyler, like you're going in right now," or did you have an idea?
Right. Yeah. So it was my freshman year. It was during COVID. We had a 6 game season in that spring of 21. It was a really weird time and everything like that. It was the second week of the year. I was a freshman. It was actually third week of the season, and we put in a heavy package. So I was like, I was pretty small back when I got recruited. I was like 250, 260, and they were like, okay, you're gonna play like a glorified tight end. I was like, oh, awesome, this is gonna be sweet. So I lined up at tight end. It was against our rival team down south. I'm not allowed to say their name. Schooling down in Indianapolis in our league, and lined up against them, and it was awesome. Something that you'll never forget. Very first, game was against a rival, our school rival. And got a pancake, got a couple pancakes during that game, so it was fun. It was a good time.
You can't say their name. Is that like a thing around the team? You guys don't.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the full thing. Like we refer to them as the team down south, team down there. We we try to treat it like kind of like Ohio State Michigan thing.
Yeah.
We really don't like them. We know they really don't like us, so it's kind of works out. So
Yeah. It's kind of like in Harry Potter or whatever. Who should not be named, or where they don't say
exactly,
Voldemort. You guys can't say the school.
not allowed to say it. Nope,
Can I say
no
it?
sir. Yeah, you can say it.
It was Butler, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So other people can say it and that doesn't bother, but you guys, it's like a team. Like, is it all Valpo athletics that you like nobody, like none of the athletes say, or is it a football thing?
I think it's more of a football thing, because
Okay.
we have like a trophy called like the Hoosier helmet.
Yeah.
That dates back to probably like the 40s. I want to say is like our rivalry. So yeah, it's like a big football thing. It's like it's a big no no.
Right.
We
Yeah.
tell our recruits that too.
You talk about, the trophy maybe dating back to the 40s, but that's something about Valpo. Like the program is an old program. There's a lot of history in the
Yeah,
Valpo football. I mean, what were the first team was like early 1900s, something like that, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy. I mean, um, when you go into our athletic recreation center, the Arc, you can see some NFL guys that made it out. Gary Pewitz, Fuzzy Thurston, to name a couple. Those guys were back in like the 50s, 60s. But yeah, definitely there's a history with Valpo. That's something that in high school was I came into a similar situation. When I was getting recruited to Valpo, the season before they were 1-10. So that was something I had somewhere in high school, like right before my seventh grade year was not. We got a new coach and everything like that. We turned it around, made the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. So that was like something that really attracted me to Valpo's. Had the similar situation, or to start like a winning tradition. Since then, freshman year went 4-2, sophomore year went 5-6, junior year went 5-7, and then last year we took a little bit of a dip. We had a lot of injuries on the offensive side of the ball, but we're looking to rebound. That's a big thing. Is Coach Fox is doing the right things, turning it around. So we're gonna get there, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a lot of this stuff, you don't do it overnight. Like it takes a
Right,
while to build, especially when you're going against other programs that are set. They took that time to build and they're already there.
right,
College athletics, it's a grind, and it takes a long time to rebuild. I mean, fans, most of the time they're impatient. They don't want to wait. They expect results right away, but everybody
right,
who's part of the building process knows that it doesn't work, especially in college. I mean, you got the transfer portal now, but it's not like you can just go out and, at the trade deadline or the, free agency and just get, I mean, it's a lot different in college. I mean, you're bringing in a lot of high school kids who are obviously they got to develop as athletes, but you're also developing them as people. I mean, there's a lot of factors in there.
Oh yeah, 100%. The thing is, like, you're taking kids who are 18 years old, and expecting them to play right away in some instances. Not everyone's ready like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I was when I was getting recruited, I was 240 pounds, 6'2", 240, playing offensive line, get recruited for offensive line, and that's like unheard of. So it's tough, expecting on younger guys to get in there, but I credit a lot of the younger guys that came in this past season and did play played well and played at a high level. So, it's tough. Like you said, even mentioning the transfer portal, losing guys to the portal, trying to gain guys back, it's tough. The college landscape has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Just with even if my career, the portal didn't start really until last year or year before that. So it's an ever evolving thing,
Oh
which
yeah.
is crazy.
And it's going to keep changing.
Right, right. That's a crazy thing to think about too.
Yeah. So what do you think the hardest adjustment was from like high school ball to D1?
Man, I would say for me, um, there was a lot of mental aspect to it. I was getting
Yeah.
recruited. I had a high GPA. I was like a 3.9 kid. I had a 30 on my ACT and everything like that. So it's not like, per se, I was, not ready to adjust mentally wise. It's just, spending more time in the playbook, watching film, and setting time away that, just realize that this is important and help you succeed. Um, watching film about 2 hours almost every day, 3 hours almost every day, just to learn tendencies and everything like that, to help you get that upper advantage. Some in high school, we watch film, but nothing to the extent that you do in college.
Right.
So, it's definitely cool though. Like it's cool to see to take that next step and learning like defensive structures and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a whole nother animal, especially at the D1 level. It's hard enough to adjust you're playing D3 or D2 because the speed of everything is faster. But I mean, D1, like you talked about, you're an 18-year-old kid and you come in, and especially right now with guys who have that extra COVID year, I mean, some of these guys are in their mid 20s, they're full
Right.
grown men, and you've got to figure it out. And I mean, they're stronger than you, they're faster than you, and they've been around the game. They've got it all down mentally too. So it's
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. The funny thing, I have to give a shout out to my boy Jeff Jackson. He's 25, was playing quarterback for us. So, like you said, there's like some mid guys in their mid 20s who are playing still just because
yeah,
of COVID, medical red shirts and everything like that. So
right.
yeah, it's a totally different animal than high
You
school
guys
for
call
sure.
him Grandpa or anything? Like, there any nicknames on the team or no?
We like to call him Uncle Hefe,
There you,
just mess around with him a little bit, but
yeah, there you
it's
go.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
you
fun.
gotta give him a little for fun. I mean, come on, you
Oh,
can't be at
100%.
25. Like, you're not gonna get away with that, right? There's gonna be a little bit of team fun there. So,
For
what's
sure.
one thing you wish you would have worked on more, like through football, to prepare you better? Like something that maybe if somebody was listening to this high school kid, that they could change something that maybe you didn't think was important at the time, but looking back now, you're like, man, I wish I could go back and like put more effort into that or spend more time on something.
Right. The big thing that they emphasize in college is being flexible, having the flexibility
Okay.
aspect. It's a big thing for offensive linemen. It's kind of overlooked, being
Yeah.
flexible in your hips and ankles, but really being able to stay low throughout the duration of a block and then being able to move, pin pull and everything like that. I definitely say that's a very underlooked aspect for high school kids. And then coming into college, that was a big, real adjustment for me is, being able to be flexible and still move and everything like that.
There you go. All the any high school kid who's listening, like, work on that. Don't just blow it off. I mean, it's totally true with all sports in high school. Is like nobody wants to stretch, nobody wants to work on their
Right.
flexibility. It's always just like, whatever. Like, I don't need to do that. It's not important. I mean, it's totally
Right.
blown off, like you said. It's just there's no focus on it.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. And that makes you a better athlete, just
Yeah.
anything that you do. Like, stretching can help you increase your vertical explosiveness with your broad jump. I'd say it helps, every single position, not just offensive lineman,
Oh yeah.
wide receiver, running back, D line,
And
I'd say biggest thing, focus on flexibility.
reduces injury risk too.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Which, speaking of injuries, you already kind of touched on this, but you had a season-ending injury first game of the year again at Youngstown State. So, kind of take us through what happened.
Yeah, it was a really freak incident. Was really weird at the time. I was just pass blocking, locked onto a guy. Our quarterback broke pocket to his left. I was a little bit, I slightly hyperextended my left arm, felt and heard a pop. I actively saw my bicep roll up my arm. It was a really, really weird freak thing that happened.
Yeah,
And I instantly knew. It was like, man, I just tore my bicep. Came off the field, told my O line coach, my head coach, and my trainers looked at it and they're like, "Yeah, you tore your bicep." It was I was really upset at first. Realizing, man, like my senior year's gone. I have to get surgery and everything like that. But then the weirdest thing is I felt like this sense of calmness come over me when I was out on the field. It's really weird to say. Um, I feel like uh, God was kind of like there and like to tell me everything's going to be okay.
yeah,
That's the one thing throughout my injury is that I've gotten, closer in my faith to God and Jesus Christ and everything like that. And
yeah,
it's I want to say it's like a blessing in disguise almost being able to further my faith, with this injury and stuff like that. But it was a really freak thing. Recovery is going really good right now. I got surgery like literally 4 days after the injury happened, so they got me right in right away. Team
yeah.
doctors like, yeah, you got to get this. Been rehabbing, started lifting about a month ago. I'm about like 3 months post-op right now, so it's going good. It's going good.
Right. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, maybe not initially, but eventually you look back on an injury and it really, I mean, yeah, they suck. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to go
Right.
through that, but you can come out stronger on the other side and you can realize that, hey, this actually was the best thing for me because if I didn't get hurt, things wouldn't have worked out the way they did. And I mean, they say God works in mysterious ways. I mean, you never really understand how it all is going to work out until the end. You look back, be like, man, may have sucked for a little bit, or I was worried that it wasn't going to work out the way it was supposed to, but it always does in the end. You just got to trust and, like you said, have faith, and everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, it's hard. Obviously, we're humans. We get all worked up over
Right.
all the things. I mean, it's easy to worry and stress, and it's not going to work out, and why is this happening to me? But if you can just kind of step back, look at the situation, and be like, all right, it's not the end of the world. Things are going to work out, and who knows moving forward what's going to come of this. I mean, maybe. I mean, are you coming back next year?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be back for next fall. So yeah.
So maybe, I mean, you guys have a unreal season, and you get to be a part of it, and you wouldn't have been a part of it, or like something like that. I mean, there's just who
Right.
knows how it's going to work out. Like, it could be this best season of your career for you personally and for the team, and it's like, okay, I came back better and stronger, and I mean, really never
Oh,
know.
100%. 100%. And that's like the thing I struggled with right away was realizing, okay, you know, deciding like, okay, I'm gonna come back. It was really weird. Like I said, the calmness came over me. I talked to my parents right after the game. I was like, I'm coming back for another year. I was like, I can't handle something like this. And it was just like, yeah, like you said, having faith through all the tough times and knowing that like, hey, there's opportunity to have something better come out next time. So
Yeah,
yeah.
complete. I completely agree with you, 100%. So, what's your most memorable game? In your time so far, is there one that really sticks out?
Yeah, I would say, man, my first college game, that was a lot of fun. That's something
Yeah,
I'll never forget. And it was really cool too. We got to go play New Mexico State last year, at their place. Travel
yeah,
down there, um, you know, play there. It was really cool. Play against FBS opponent.
right.
That was a really memorable thing. I'll never forget that. Being able to start against them, that was really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'd probably say that's my most memorable game.
probably a little bit bigger stadium and a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
different atmosphere.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like it was cool. It was like in a bowl, raised up and everything like that. Yeah, it was legit. It was
Yeah,
legit.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So, what's your favorite part about Valpo? I mean, it doesn't have to be football, right? It can be, but just like since you've been there, what's your favorite part?
Oh, 100% the guys that I've met.
Yeah,
The people out there. I've made friends and they're like my brothers now. People that I'll be close with the rest of my life. Um, you know, Guys that I wouldn't have met otherwise, from all over the country. Like my roommate, my best friend, he's from Buffalo, New York. So like I would have never met him before. I have another friend from Savannah, Georgia. So there's all over the place. So I'd definitely say it's my favorite thing about Valpo is being able to meet different guys, become friends with them. It's
yeah,
something that I would never want to trade away. You know what I mean?
yeah. You got a tight bond, tight group of guys.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And that's what makes, like, I would say Valpo special, or like any school that you go to. You really connect with those guys. I think that's what makes it special. This journey that you have with those guys. Playing win loss. Yeah, obviously you want to win. You want to win every single game.
Right.
Especially as a true competitor. I hate losing, but it makes it special is with those guys and the journey with them. So
And it
yeah,
makes
I'd say
it
that's
easier, right? To go through the tough times if you're with a good group of guys.
100%. You lean on them. It's like, man, I really don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go run, or I don't want to go early in the morning to do stuff, but you do it for them. And that was a big thing with my injury too. Is I had the honor of being voted team captain this past season, and I could have checked out, and stuff like that. I stuck through it. I did for those guys. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
They gave me the honor of representing them as a team captain. I can't let those guys down. So 100%. That was one of my biggest honors is being voted for that. So why would I let those guys down? They had that
Right.
faith in me, so I gotta be there for them.
Exactly. And it's always easy to check out. Like, that's the easiest thing to
Right,
do. Like, something tough happened to me, so screw it, whatever. I'm just gonna blow these guys off. But like you
right,
said, I mean, you were honored with that. And if you're a true teammate, true friend, it doesn't matter. You, like you said, you kind of step up to the plate and be like, all right, something tough is going on for me, but I'm not gonna let my guys down.
right.
No. So okay, now I got a question. You gotta be honest with me on this. Do
Let's hear
you
it.
like the Brown? Do you like? I mean, that's not a sexy color. It's not like an
Yeah,
awesome like, ooh, look at those jerseys color. Do you
yeah. I
like it?
mean, it's tough. My favorite pro team is the Cleveland Browns. So there's brown and orange. I've been
Okay.
growing up with the brown, like the brown my entire life. But man, obviously you want to have like a different color. I mean, but we even changed our gold to be from like like a nicer like metallic gold to being like almost a yellow now. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah. I
Your
mean,
your white jerseys are pretty clean. I mean, those are nice, but the
yeah,
Browns, it's kind of like, ooh, it's hard to, I don't know.
yeah. Sometimes it's like, man, all of our gears brown and everything like that. But for real note though, like I mean, it's cool. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
obviously like it's not the most sexy color like you said, but it gets the job done.
right. And it's your team color. Like, in the end of the
Right.
day, it's gonna mean something special to you in a kind of like a weird way, even if it's not the most attractive color. It's still like that's your team, that's your school spirit,
A
all
hundred
that stuff.
percent. Yeah, 100%. I'll always be my high school was purple and white. We always say bleed purple. I'll always bleed brown and gold too. For
Yeah.
Valpo, 100%. That's something that's a part of me, will always be a part of me. So yeah.
And the yellow, like it doesn't clash. That's a good thing. Like it blends well together. It's
Right.
just like
Right.
they're not awesome colors. Like they go
Yeah,
well
exactly.
together. It's just
Right. It matches well. It's just like, man, there's like a whole nother color wheel out there. Like you could go
yeah.
like, like Coastal Carolina, you know what I mean? They got like
Oh
teal and
yeah.
gold. Yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
that's a cool colorway. But yeah, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
hear you.
It's just kind of one of those bland colors. Like I don't know. I think Alabama's jersey is kind of like nah. I mean, it's just like a
Right,
bland maroon. It's
right.
simple, and a lot of people like simple, but it's just not for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Michigan,
no,
same thing, just like navy blue, just simple,
just straight
nothing.
navy blue and
Yeah,
gold. Yeah, no,
yeah,
no. I'm much more of like I'm more of a fan of like the purple, white, like my high school, like Coastal's colors, those
yeah.
are sweet. But yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you.
James
I hear you.
Madison, talk about
Oh,
purple. Like that's
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Even LSU, like LSU
Oh
when they go
yeah.
with the white helmets, you know what I mean, with the
Yeah.
purple and gold. That's awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I got you. So if you could invite one athlete over for dinner, any athlete ever, I mean they could be dead now, but just like saying like any athlete ever over for dinner, who would it be?
Man, that's a tough choice. Right now, I'd have to say Jason Kelsey, just because,
Okay. Yeah.
center, we both play center. He seems like a really fun
Yeah.
guy. He's from Cleveland, so it's like a 45-minute drive for me.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like an awesome guy. Listen to his podcast and, watch the series about him. So, I'd have to say him. He seems like just like pick his brain about football and then
Right.
also like just joke around. Like he seems a really good guy. Like he seems like he have a fun
Yeah.
time. So yeah.
He seems like a decent person, right? Like you could have a beer with him and like sit down and have some fun and like he's
Right.
cool. He's not going to be an asshole, right? He's just going to be like,
100%. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah. He seems like a good guy, just vibe with him and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say
yeah,
Jason Kelsey.
yeah. That's a good choice. That makes sense too. Like you said, center and everything. I mean, I would have been a little confused if you picked like a wide receiver, like a quarterback or something.
Yeah, just pulled like some random wide receiver like Brandon Marshall or something out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, do you if that's what you want to have dinner with, but like I guess you could talk about the side of just being a competitor and all that. I mean, like that flows
Right.
through, but like you could definitely pick Jason Kelsey's brain about this kind of literal like offensive lineman technique stuff and be like, well, how do you do this? And like
Right.
or whatever.
100%. Like yeah,
Yeah.
he's a stud. He's a stud, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Eagles are having a little tough dip here. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't know. I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Hope there's no. I hope the Eagles fans are holding on. I feel like they're probably all freaking out. I don't know. It's
Oh yeah, all over Brown's Twitter. It's funny because as mentioned, I'm a Browns fan. All over Brown's Twitter, there's that meme of like the two guys on the bus. One's all happy, the one's all sad. Browns fans at 9-5, and then the Eagles fans at 10-5. Browns fans are all
yeah.
happy just to be there. And the Eagles
The
fans are like
Eagles are
all down in the
freaking out
dumps.
because they lost.
Oh yeah, oh
So,
yeah.
as a Browns fan, you happy with the Joe Flacco? I mean,
Oh my
he's
gosh,
balling out. Holy
he's
smokes!
spinning it right now. He's spinning
Yeah,
it, and that's awesome to see.
the
Like
old man got it. Wow.
oh yeah, it's crazy to see because like he caused us so much pain over the years when he was with the Ravens. even
Yeah.
with the Jets when he came back and led them down the field in that late game. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just awesome to see, especially
Yeah.
Myles Garrett too. My opinion, best defender in the league, should win Defensive Player of the Year. But maybe a little bit of home bias. But yeah, no, I'd say it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching the Browns. I've never been like I don't have anything against the Browns, but I've never just like I don't know. They have ugly jerseys. We talked about that. Like that's how I vote a lot of teams. I'm like, okay, I like the way your team looks, so like
Right,
that's cool. But I also don't have anything against the Browns. I like Joe Flacco. I think he's again an honest, like decent person, good guy. I
right.
think his story is really cool coming off the couch basically and
Oh yeah,
balling out. And I hope the Browns make a nice little run. And I think it'd be a great thing for him in his career. And it'd
oh
be
yeah,
pretty sweet.
100%. Especially with all the injuries the Browns have sustained too. Losing
Yeah,
Nick
it's
Chubb
crazy.
against Steelers second game of the year, losing Jedrick Wills, and then we've lost three tackles. You know what I mean? Like we've lost
Yeah.
Jack
And the
Conklin, who
run
was an
the
All
run
Pro.
game is really good with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. Like
Yeah,
those guys are balling
right,
out.
right. And it's like it's crazy just the replacement. Like it's just a never ending cycle. But they're finding a way to win. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun to
it
watch.
is. It is. It's got to be fun after all those tough years.
Oh yeah, yeah. So watching the 1-15, the 0-16.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Tough, tough.
Yeah. So what kind of music do you like?
Man, I like listening to everything to be honest with you. I grew up. My dad. I get my music taste from my dad for sure. Growing up, he ranged everywhere. He listened to Van Halen
Oh
was like
yeah.
his favorite all time group, and then he'd also listen to Eazy-E. So like, there's the whole spectrum in
Yeah.
between. Listen to everything. My playlist on Spotify has like over 1,000 songs on it, and it just ranges from everywhere. Like I could play Luke Combs one song and then go to Future the very next song, and then go back to like Metallica or Black Sabbath the next
Oh
song. So it's
yeah.
like all over the place, which is really cool. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like listening to everything.
Yeah. That's kind of how I am too. And I like hearing that because there's some people that like country or rap. That's
Right.
all I listen to. I can't stand anything else. Like you gotta have some variety. Variety is the spice of life. And you gotta
Oh, 100%. You gotta be cultured in every aspect.
Yeah,
You gotta be
exactly. You don't have to
yeah.
love every song in that genre, but like
Right.
have a
Just
few,
because like right, I'm not the biggest fan of, probably like I don't know, like Waylon Jennings. I could still like Morgan Wallen or Zach Bryan or something like
Right,
that.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, you don't have to love it all.
right.
So this is a question. I mean, I feel like most offensive linemen like they like to eat. So
Oh yeah.
what's your favorite food? The big steak
Man.
or I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably if I had to choose just one food for the rest of my life, I'd probably say like steak and like a potato. But
Yeah.
man, I love pizza too.
Yeah.
Dude, pizza, oh my
What are you
gosh.
putting on it? What are your toppings?
Pepperoni sausage, and
Okay.
then occasionally jalapenos or something like that. But you
Yeah.
always got to have a side of ranch too, like dip it in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Always
yeah, I
got to
love
have
that.
ranch with the pizza.
Ah, I love
Always
that
got to
so
have ranch
much.
with the
It's a
pizza.
staple. It's a
Oh yeah,
must.
it's a Midwest staple. I like to
Yep.
joke around with my buddy from Buffalo. He's a big blue cheese guy. I'm like, yeah, no, we don't do blue cheese
No,
around here. We
no,
don't do
no.
blue cheese.
Ranch is it, and I would
Ranch.
argue that all day long. You can say whatever you will, but you got to have ranch with pizza. It's a
Oh,
must.
100%. Ranch with pizza, wings, anything you
Yeah.
name it,
Oh
put ranch
yeah.
on it.
Yep. Exactly. I love ranch. It's like if I had one dressing or like some sauce for the rest of my life, I'd probably pick ranch because you can just dunk in like so much stuff into it.
Oh, 100%. Without a doubt. Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
So okay, so you said probably steak and potatoes, maybe pizza for the rest of your life. Okay, now what would you drink too? So you're eating one of those things, but you can only have one drink for the rest of your life. What would that be?
Strawberry Gatorade. Now it's
Okay,
very hard to find. Very hard to find.
yeah,
There's a
that's
7-Eleven back in Valpo that me and all my buddies go to after lifting stuff before class. We go grab a strawberry Gatorade and go to class. But strawberry Gatorade, undefeated, best Gatorade flavor. Second to that, I'd probably go like either a lemon lime or an orange, but
yeah.
strawberry Gatorade all the way.
So strawberry Gatorade, steak and potatoes, and pizza, and you're living
Oh yeah.
happy.
Oh yeah. I'll be a happy camper if those things are at the
Yeah,
table.
yeah, I love it. Well, Tyler, thanks for coming on the podcast. Had a good time talking to you about your career in Valpo and just all kinds of stuff. So appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you for having me. This has been awesome. Thank you very much.